Hello summoners, welcome back to the channel, and in this video we're going to talk about Iron Man Infinity War. Now this guy has been in the game for a pretty long time. He was never really the best character for anything. He is more like a jack of all, master of none kind of character. He does bring a lot to the table, and I do believe that if you are a newer character who doesn't really have a very developed roster, then this guy, he can cover a lot of bases. So he's a pretty friendly character to pull early on in the game. And yeah, in this video we're going to first start off with some Labyrinth of Legends starlord gameplay. Now this guy, he has like 3.3 million health points, and I have sped it up, but honestly he didn't even take that long to bring this guy down. Now compared to a character like Horseman Storm, she was able to do much better damage over time. Now she doesn't have this much utility, but her damage output was, it was much easier to build up, and at the end, like, we'll have 8 plasma and you can get more. Like I've seen, Season has a video of soloing this guy with a rank 1 6-star, so basically effectively like a rank 4 5-star Iron Man Infinity War. And of course there you can even build up more plasma and keep it going, but it is a little bit stressful to do that. We do have the white Magneto synergy here, by the way, and basically like this guy, he doesn't really need any synergies, but Stealth Suit Spider-Man synergy benefits him a lot. And in this video it's not going to be a detailed guide, but I am going to tell all his main abilities and how he works, and like watching this video should give you a very decent idea of how to use him. And yeah, let's get started. So first of all, I want to talk about his damage output and what we're doing in this fight. So we're going for SP2s, which they are putting incinerates on him, and every time we do a medium attack or the first hit of the heavy attack, basically he has these I'm not sure what they're called, but he has some hits where you can, like, the opponent won't evade, you are going to drain power, and some other stuff, like it's basically first medium and then some light attack in your combo. And then your SP1 has like it starts with R, I'm not sure what the name is, but whatever. That is how you refresh your incinerate and your plasma debuff. So like right now you can see we have 4 and we're doing some decent damage over time. Again, compared to Horseman Storm, like, she can do this in 1 SP1 and probably 2 heavy attacks. So it's not too impressive, but again, you have to keep in mind how versatile this character really is, how much she brings to the table. Like, if you want to hear it in a very short form, like whatever things he can do, he has shock, he has incinerates, he has armor breaks, he have some damage over time, he has power gain in if he's awakened in his final phase, he has auto block as a safety net. It is a pretty effective safety net too. And on top of all that, like, he has evade counter, a little bit of power control. I'm not really a big fan of his evade counter thing, like doing only medium attacks or stuff like that. It's not very practical, especially like we have characters like Nick Fury who can be just so much more useful in damage output and even utility wise. Like, just use a few SP1s and you have like the evade counter thing going on, you can be fully unblockable at the same time. So yeah, I don't think he is a top 5 or even a top 10 tech character, but he can handle a lot of stuff. He is still really good, really powerful, and I think a lot of people, including me for the most part, just see him as a defender. And to be honest, nowadays he's not even that annoying on defense. Like, when he came out, he was the biggest pain on defense, but I think after Corvus Glaive was released, he was just Corvus food, because you could gain 3 charges from him, like the auto block charge, the tech, and Avenger one. So yeah, after that, like, stubborn, and we got better defenders, we got better at repairing and playing Iron Man Infinity War overall, and even like characters like Void and stuff countered him really well. But other things that he can do, like your again, your first medium attack and stuff, they can also not be parried, so that also has use against like if you're fighting Medusa, you have class disadvantage, not ideal fight, but you can get past that. And again, he has armor breaks on the SP2 on the heavy attack, which is a very accessible way to get the armor break. Also, while he has his armor up active, he is fully immune to bleed and cold snap, which is nice to have abilities. There he kind of evaded my SP2, otherwise like I would have probably gained another plasma debuff. And at this point we are doing what, 6700, so roughly like 13,000, over 13,000 damage every single second, which is pretty decent. And the basic hits, they don't really hit that hard, but like especially when you have the arm, I'm not sure why I didn't connect there. I don't think I was too slow, but for whatever reason we will only have 8 plasma debuffs, and you're seeing like he is just melting at this point, and he will go down pretty soon. So yeah, and he's just really tanky character as well, by the way. Like he can take a bunch of hits and still survive, but 400 something hits, I think it could be much shorter. I'm not the best Iron Man Infinity War player, I haven't used him much, so if you have some pro Iron Man Infinity War tips, then do leave them down in the comment section. So let's move on to some variant 3 gameplay now. He is a tech character, so pretty decent for this variant. Like he can just handle so much stuff. The thing that makes him pretty decent counter to Black Panther Civil War is probably the armor breaks, but because we have the white Magneto pre-fight ability in this fight, it's not really required. But we are going to launch SP2, which should put it didn't but it can put armor breaks on the SP2. Not exactly sure what the percentage chance is, but I think depending on how many armor breaks you have, you can also stun the opponent. Pretty sure about that. But now we have the first plasma, and we're doing 600 damage over time. Again, this number might not seem that big because like if we are talking about comparing him to characters like Omega Red, but you do have to keep in mind, like you don't have to be close to the opponent in order to do this kind of damage. Like that is something that I learned when I was comparing Mephisto and Void, because Mephisto with some synergies can do some crazy aura damage, but you have to be close to the opponent in order to do it. And a lot of time in this game we are like baiting special attacks, we are doing something else and like not really close to the opponent for some node reasons or some other reasons. But basically having a damage over time throughout the fight is a pretty big deal, even if it is doing 600 damage per tick, and like that just adds up really quickly. Plus on top of that, like you have some power control, so even if they're not using a special attack, you can use one medium attack and then back off, because the first medium is going to drain their power also a little bit. Again, you can't compare his power control to the likes of Magic or Horseman Psylocke, or his damage output to the top damage characters, or his evade counter thing against like the best evade counters. But the fact that he can do it all and still has above average damage output for the the thing is, like in longer fights like Labyrinth, I'm sure he can out damage a lot of characters that you would think hit harder than him. But you're not going to use Iron Man Infinity War to clear your Labyrinth path, at least not now. Maybe at some point of time you I don't see myself, like whenever I see Iron Man Infinity War, he just looks like he's not doing that much damage, because we don't see like big yellow numbers coming out of him. But definitely, like if you can stack those plasmas, then he is capable of some ridiculous damage output. So this ghost is about to go down pretty quickly here. Also, like his SP1, just the fact that it's unblockable and puts shock, and shock is not one of those debuffs which is very common. Like not that many characters have access to shock, so that could be useful. Now let's quickly talk about his awakened ability. So as you can see, like we are gaining a ton of power here, and that is just really good, like because again, and SP1 is unblockable. Just keep spamming that. You don't need armor up for in order to gain that power gain. But he's also really tanky, and if you mess up, he'll auto block and save you that way. It's just a very good ability to have. But that is going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, share with your alliance, and stay safe. Bye bye.